one of the things that we were looking at in class, as well as doing the double crochet, was how to crochet in the round. So make a circular object item. So I will talk through what we did in class and demonstrate it as I'm talking, so that if you need to come back and just sort of like refresh your memory, you can do. So in class I said to make a slip knot and chain 3. So this is what you have on your instructions. If you weren't at class, I will send you a copy of the instructions through as well with this with the email. So we've done a chain 3, and what we're going to do is we're going to make that double crochet in the last chain. So this one here, the furthest one from the hook. So we yarn over, we go through that chain, we grab the yarn and we pull it through, and then we're going to yarn over, and we are going to pull through 2 and pull through 2 to make our stitch. Now that then becomes the centre of our circle. Into that we are going to place 12 double crochets in total. So we've done 1, so we're going to place another 11. So I'm not going to talk you through them and how I'm doing them, I'm just going to put them in. So 1, so this is our second, now you can see I'm on 9 now, that this is getting bigger, so I can tense that up. Now I know that a couple of you found that your circle was getting bigger, but you were unable to cinch it together by pulling on the tail. If that is the case, don't worry about it, but you can use your blunt edge needle to sew that within the centre and tighten it up that way. So all is not lost. 10, 11 and 12. So that's my 12 double crochets. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the first double crochet. So if you remember, this little section here is our chain, 1, 2, and this was the third one, which also becomes the top of our double crochet. So we are going to slip stitch. So by slip stitching, we place our hook through, again under the V's, grab the yarn, and you pull it through everything. And that causes this circle to close. Now, our second round, we are going to double. So we've got 12 double crochets, and each round needs to increase by the same number as the starting round. So we need to do 24, which is double. So therefore we put 2 double crochets into each of those stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Okay, so we're gonna, in order to get our height, we're gonna chain 2 again. We're gonna double crochet into the same stitch that we've slip stitched into. I'm going to do 2. And we are going to continue that, placing 2 into each stitch. Now, one of the questions I was asked was, how do I know how many I've done? Either count as you go along, so you know that you don't leave the stitch below until you've got a an even number in. That's one of the ways. The other is to stretch your work so you can actually see the holes, and then you can see that you've got 2 stitches in it. Okay, so I'll finish this off and then we'll talk about how we work onto the third. At this point, if you do make a mistake, I would suggest you go back, otherwise you're going to have a slightly uneven circle. If you did it a little bit later on, it's probably not going to matter too much, but because it's nice to just get it right, isn't it? Just need to get some more yarn. Uses a lot more yarn than the single crochet does, but of course you're getting a lot more height as well. So, and then as a best practice, when you get to the end, just count your stitches. So I'm into my last one. I know it's my last one because that's the last double crochet from the last round. And also if I counted it, I'd know it was. So before I slip stitch it, I'm going to count them. So I can either count them as in counting these long sections, or I can count them counting the V sections. So it's entirely up to you what you find is the easiest. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. And then again, I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the first double crochet, not into the chain. So through, grab the yarn and pull through everything. So that's our second round done. So the third round, chain 2, and again we're going to increase by 12, which means that we're going to increase every other one this time. So we're going to put 1 double crochet into the first one, and then we're going to do our increase into the second one, so it's going to be every even number. I count this by using 3, so 1, 2, and then I know that my third one is going to be the increase. Okay, so then the next one's a single double crochet, and the next one's 2 double crochets, so an increase. That's what you'll hear. The terminology on your patterns are increases, and so forth all the way along. So 1 single followed by 2 double, which then gives us that increase. So I'll go all the way around for this. We'll check the stitches again. I need some more yarn, and then we will talk about the 4th row and get that started. Sorry, all you can see is yarn being pulled, can't you? No doubt I'll need to pull some more in a minute. So I'm just checking because I've got 2 there, 1 there, which means I'm still doing 2 here. Oh, I did that out of shot, sorry. 2 there, 1 there, which means I'm doing 2 in this next one. So that's my second one. I know I'm going quickly, but it's because I don't want you to spend a lot of time actually watching the bits of the video that are just me doing the double crochets, because I'm hoping by this point you are understanding how to do a double crochet. Now on YouTube and in my Facebook group, there is a section called Stitches in Seconds. So if you're thinking, I do know that stitch, but I can't quite remember it. Stitches in Seconds literally is, well, I think most of them are a video that is less than a minute. There's no talking, there's no intro, and it just shows you the stitch, which is really handy if you are wanting to just refresh your memory, but you don't want to spend a long time doing it. So I would suggest, so for example, if you're doing a single crochet and you think, well, how do I do it, which is I know what some of you were saying, I've forgotten how to do it, then that's a great way to just refresh it really quickly without having to spend loads of time waiting for somebody to get to the point. Oh. Almost there. So 1 and this one. 2. And I'm going to do that slip stitch again, so remember, into the top of the first double crochet, grab the yarn and pull it through everything on the hook. Okay, so that's our third increase. Now, each subsequent increase follows the same pattern, so you're going to chain 2, and then, as we have here, we've got our single double crochet followed by the increase. We will always be increasing in the last increase below, so I'm hoping that this makes sense. So we put 1 in here, 1 in here, and then 2 in here, and then that will carry on. So each time we will be putting 1 extra double crochet or 1 extra stitch, single stitch, as we go along. So go 1, 2, and I put 2 in this last one, 3, 4. I'll just do 2 sets of these to show you. I'll need more yarn. Sorry. 2, 3, 4. So we look at that now. So we can see that's our increase section. So we've got 2 lots of increases. So the next one would be 1 in that one, 1 in that one, 1 in that one, and then 2 in that end increase. So that would take us to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's our 5th row, and so on as you go up. Okay. Now, for there are different ways to start that circle. So if you decide that you actually don't like that, I'm going to show you 2 different ways. Now, if you're happy with it, turn the video off and just stick with it. If you're not and you'd like to see the other ways, I'm going to show you one which is a fairly simple one, and then one which is slightly more complicated, but does, certainly when you're doing like the toys and things, give you a much better finish. So the first one is do your slip stitch as normal, and then we're going to chain 5. Could be 4, but I'm going to chain 5 just to show you. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then you're going to slip stitch into the first chain. So again, go through, grab the yarn and pull through. Okay, now what you're going to do is you are going to do your chain 2, and you're going to put all of your double crochets into the center of that chain. So you're going to go and continue like that. So I'll do the 12 so you can see what that looks like. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Okay, and then again, that was the chain, so I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the double crochet. Okay, now you can see I am left with the circle in the middle. So again, in order to completely close that, I would either have to sew that round or be prepared to leave it like that. So like somebody said, if you were putting a pom-pom on, then you may be happy enough with that hole. If it was going to be a hat, for example, or a coaster, you might be happy with the hole as well. It's sort of a bit of an extra design feature, if you will. You could cinch it in by doing just 4, but even so, you're still going to have a hole, and I think 3 would probably be a little bit unworkable. Okay, so that's one option. Your other option is slightly more complicated. I'll be honest, it was one of those that I really sort of like shied away from doing it, but it's called, you'll hear it called magic circle You might hear it called a magic ring, or you might hear it called an adjustable circle or an adjustable ring, all the same thing. But what you do is you hold the yarn tail like this, and you go as if you're going to make a slip knot. So you wrap it round and then back on itself. Okay, then you go under the first, grab the back, pull it through, and you're sort of just twisting it slightly, and you're then grabbing that back piece of yarn. So you pull that through, and effectively you've already got a chain on there. Then this is your tail, and this is the adjustable ring, and you can cinch it like this. So you can work in it, do your double crochets, whatever it is you're going to make into it, and then you can cinch it in really, really tightly. So I will do it again just to show you. And there is a tutorial on this, which goes slightly slower, I think. But so tail end towards you, wrap away and behind, under, grab the back yarn, pull it through. So it's as if we're making a slip knot, but our working yarn is worked in a slightly different way. Gives us a tail, which then gives us this adjustability to be able to really cinch that in. Okay, so that's another way of doing it. Hopefully that's been helpful. I will see you when I get back. For those that are coming, I will add on to the email the dates and just ask you to confirm if you haven't already done so. So take care and have a lovely few weeks.